Marcellus, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong? It's way too early to count out the Patriots.
I think you're wrong if you're saying it's way too early. We're going through the process of hearing, as I told you before, how the universe whispers before it yells. And right now, it's whispering. These Patriots ain't the same Patriots. A losing record on the road this year. That's only happened once before under Belichick and Brady. And what year was that? 2009, when they went 2-6. This year, they're 3-5. What happened in 2009 with these Patriots? My Pro Football Reference tells me they lost at home in the wild card round against the Baltimore Ravens. Whispers, huh? Let's talk about the penalties yesterday. The mistakes. Second most in Belichick's tenure with the Patriots. 14 penalties. We're not hearing this team is undisciplined, but that certainly is not the character of the Patriots of old. So now they're making mistakes. They're not good away from Foxborough. And now you're talking about Tom Brady making untimely mistakes from their leader. We saw him throw a red zone interception. That hasn't happened in a couple of years. All these whispers start to accumulate to the point where you're like, someone's going to yell at us one day, Patriots have lost or the Patriots are not the same team. Whether they return to the pack or the pack has caught up to them, I wouldn't be surprised if these Patriots were one and done in the playoffs.
I'm not buying it at all. I mean, you're talking about your Whitlock, a Patriots hater. You sit up here one right now, and I'll take a shot at them anytime I get an opportunity. All the time they put us out of the playoffs, the AFC championship games and whatnot. But when the game is on the line, when it's time for them to win, they know how to win. That's the difference with this team. We've said every time they had a bad season or bad games or, a Wes Welker leaves and somebody else come in, they won't have anybody to throw to, they can't, and they find another way to win. That last game wasn't a must-win for them. They're locked. They're going, right? So it wasn't a must-win for them. I believe their mentality changes when the game is on the line. They get into a critical situation because they have more experience than anybody of this generation of playing in tight games.
I agree with you, Sean. I think for the New England Patriots, this is a time of the year when they normally drop a game, they lose one. Early in the year, they'll drop one, lose one, and then everybody's looking and talking like, is this team the team that we are used to seeing or accustomed to seeing? But, Tom Brady, he struggled yesterday. They looked sloppy. It didn't look good. Maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers was just on top of their game, and I'll give them that. They played a heck of a ball game. But the New England Patriots always find a way, come postseason, to make teams look average. And it's not the norm for them. We're not used to seeing that. But come playoff time, they're a different team. So I never count them out, especially this late in the season, knowing the postseason is right around the corner. Look, sometimes this team, this type of loss can make you a better team moving forward.
That's what I think in terms of, look, is the Patriots' great run over? Yeah, Brady's 41, Belichick maybe not as motivated as he used to be. But I'll go back to my Rocky analogy. It's like when Rocky called Apollo Creed, he's at the end of his career.
Yeah.
He's overlooking, getting a little sloppy, but he has that champion's know-how and grit. And what you ended up figuring out about Apollo Creed is like, man, he talked a lot of noise, and maybe you didn't like him and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, he was a good guy, stayed in the ring, was a champion, had great character, blah. And that eventually, I think, and I'm someone that started out the year like, hey, man, I think this will be the beginning of the end for Belichick.
Yes.
And I still believe that. But what I saw yesterday, with the Steelers desperate and at home, if they lose that game, basically their damn season's in jeopardy. They had more to lose than the Patriots, and they still struggled mightily to beat the Patriots on a day when the Patriots didn't even have their B game. And so that's why I think when they get into the postseason, Belichick and Brady, but Brady in particular, are going to take it up a notch, and it's going to be one of those throwback moments that, to me, if I had to bet on them playing any of these teams in the AFC in the playoffs, and I don't care, home or road, I would still be like, Brady's going to figure out a way.
It's amazing that we're taking the same road of thought, but we're landing in different places. I agree with exactly what you guys are saying. But the reference point for the Patriots have never been the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've never used them as their litmus test saying that's what type of team we are. We're better than them. We have their number. So the margin for error is slimmer than ever. Look at the Patriots in comparison to all the AFC top contenders. You don't see that space anymore. And if the Patriots weren't fully motivated yesterday, I don't know when they will be. They came off one of the most disgusting regular season losses in Miami. Talking about giving a game away, and we never like to focus in on one play, but there was one play that made the difference in that game. They came in fully motivated, and all of a sudden they give confidence to a team that's going to be a potential contender and foe going forward. Look at this team when they're at home, and look at this team when they're on the road in the playoffs. The Patriots wanted to win this game because of these numbers right here. If you look at the Patriots, they're a completely different team at Foxborough and when they're away from Foxborough. So I think that they had that as motivation yesterday. They just came up short.
Yeah, the gap isn't big anymore, but they're going to win football games by any means necessary. They're going to be ugly wins, and we're not used to seeing that. We're used to the Patriots going in and beating everybody by a large margin. They're not that. You're right. They're not that team anymore. Tom Brady, if you want to be honest, in the last 6 years, he's never made a Patrick Mahomes throw. He's never made an Aaron Rodgers throw. He's never had that arm where he goes out. So people saying he's old, he's getting tired, it's later in the postseason. Tom Brady has never beat anybody with his arm.
But he beat you mentally, and you were beat.
Well, you're right. You're right. But he was
beat by the Patriots when they show up.
He's a great quarterback, and they find ways to win. But he didn't go and just light us up.
But isn't that something like the Mike Tyson parallel? There was a time where you lost the fight before you walked in the ring because Mike Tyson coming with the white towel on and the black shoes. Now, when the Patriots show up, teams are like, okay, you're not the old Patriots. It's a different mentality.
But to the Pittsburgh Steelers' credit, they get up for this game. Being a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers team, we played them opening game in 2015, and you talking about a game that they get up for because they know they could potentially see them down the road. So they want to leave a lasting impression on the New England Patriots as much as they can.
Look, this is the Steelers' regular season Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And to me, that when I was watching the game, I kept saying I was more unimpressed with Pittsburgh than I was New England. Again, Pittsburgh's at home, back against the wall. I'm not someone, there are people right now, I'm sure, gloating like, hey, Brady's starting to show age, and maybe he is. But not so much that where I think once they get into the postseason, he's not going to make these mistakes before halftime. He will never throw that red zone interception again. He's not going to take that sack he took in Miami, and Rob Gronkowski won't be on the Hail Mary defensive team when they can't even throw the balls to the end zone. So I look, the NFL to me has never been as wide open as it is right now.
Say it.
Tell me the team that you feel overconfident about, like, oh, man, this team definitely is going to make a run in the playoffs.
Right.
Anybody can go out. And so if that's the case, and I got Belichick and Brady in a wide-open league, who do I trust more than them?
Now we're into the position where it's not based on how good they are, it's how bad the others are.
Not even bad, just not trustworthy.
Okay, so here we go. Are you trusting Rob Gronkowski this year? Like, Rob Gronkowski is not the same player for whatever reason. And this could be the injury bug finally caught up to him. But he's out there in terms of health and availability, but he is not out there in terms of him having impact. Edelman's not having the same impact this year. So their formula for success, the Patriots were best at plan B. They get into the playoffs, you try to counter what they do best, they got another formula. I don't see their plan A working, let alone their plan B. What's going to change when we get into the regular season? They're going to flip the switch? I don't see it. There are a lot of teams who have better plan A's this year, and we'll figure out if they got the plan B. But the Patriots, they're off script from play one, it seems like.
The reason I feel like the Patriots will be so much better moving forward, especially in the postseason, I didn't have a chance to watch the Miami Dolphins game, nor do I know what type of scheme they run, but I know Mike Tomlin's scheme can be very difficult. And I played against him a couple times, so, you know, you see different looks and you see different zone blitzes, and it can get confusing. And, you know, in a game where it's a must-win, they're gonna bring pressure. Tom probably knew that. I think it didn't work in their favor, and I think it cost them to be a little overzealous as far as what they was trying to do.